Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So Lulu Rask, Vanessa here, coming to you from sunny but cold Lancashire. At least it's not raining. If you saw my vlog earlier in this week, you will have seen me out in the sunshine in a new make, getting the last of the rays. Oh, it was beautiful, but it's just turned a little bit colder. I will pop a link below in the description box to that video. It was the big reveal from my Busy Bee Sewing Challenge September make. It was the pattern challenge using the Marilla Walker pattern, but I shall pop that and you'll be able to see all of the details there and see my make as well. What's been happening this week? Gosh, it's been an absolute whirlwind with the news that I have become a Think Pink Sew Inspired ambassador. Everything's just suddenly exploded busy-wise again, which is absolutely fantastic because it keeps me happy. It keeps my brain full of happy thoughts, happy makes. So there is lots happening there. Some things I can share, some things I have to keep under wraps at the moment, but by the time you are seeing this video on Friday, I will already have posted with my other collaborators a particular fabric and an idea that we're having. So 3 of us have gotten together, myself, Alison, who is Sew Like Dottie, and Em, who is the Crafty Clyde. I'll pop their links down below as well. We have all purchased the same fabric the minute we saw it, and we decided, since we'd all purchased it, let's do a collaboration. So we are going to. It's going to be revealed in October, but as I said, we're launching tonight to let everybody know that we will be doing this collaboration, and it is the Midnight Panther viscose jersey. Now mine has arrived, it has been washed, it has been dried, so I can show you this gorgeousness up close and personal. Let me see if I can get, I just loved it. Excuse me. I can't decide quite what it was that drew me to it. Was it the colour? Was it the pattern? It was everything. Can you just have a look at that bad boy? Is he not just glorious? So we've been chatting, myself, and Alison, batting around ideas of individually of what we're planning, and I have a couple of different plans. I have 2 meters of this, so it's going to depend on how the pattern sits within it, whether to what I am going to be able to make. Obviously some form of top is going to be very easy, 2 meters is plenty, but you know me by now, you know I don't go for an easy life, so I'm going to attempt to squeeze something a little bit more substantial out of it. But you're going to have to pop back in October to find out what the make is. What else has been happening? Gosh, I purchased a few things. I've deliberately tried not to order too much into the sewing room fabric wise. Obviously with having this position with Beyond the Pink Doors, the Sew Inspired ambassador, I'm going to have lots of opportunity to purchase fabric, potentially gifted fabric, also working on makes specifically for promotional work for them. So I have to have that forefront of my mind. I'm also working through my stash, so I'm not purchasing massive amounts at the moment. However, I do pop onto the occasional destash, and there's a couple of things that I actually have picked up. One of them was the I've got it here. You can't actually see much on the picture because I didn't print off. I didn't print off the front sheet. I've been saving my printer, but it was the Fibre Mood Paulette blouse. I can show you it on the instruction sheet. Right, let me do that so it's not shining too much with light. There we go. And it's just a beautiful blouse with a little almost grandad collar and this gorgeous ruffle down the front. actually, I hadn't realised because the picture was only, but I've just seen this. The ruffle goes round the back as well. How cute is that? So I got that in a Destash. As I said, it was only a few pounds. So I was totally delighted. And also something that I know I am slow to the party, but it's one of those ones that I love the look of it, but I don't like the bottom of the skirt. But the more I see people and the better I'm becoming, I'm realising that I have the ability to change it if I want to. So I took the opportunity and I got the chalk and notch fringe dress pattern. Now I've already filed that away, so I can't show it, but I will pop a little picture in here of the chalk and notch fringe dress. So I got a copy of that in a Destash as well. So that's just gone into my pattern folders underneath my desk here, of which I have had a massive tidy. Got them all. Now I'm going to show you these, and now don't judge. I know we all have our ways of filing, and I know this is plastic, it's cellophane, but these aren't going to be used and thrown away. I keep these. I only got 50 of them. I had been using big A4 envelopes to store my patterns in, and then I put them, see if I can, whoops, grab one. So how I store my patterns is, so these are the big A3 project folders that everybody uses. So when I get my patterns, now this happens to be printed patterns. These are printed dress patterns from magazines, things I've had before, but also with the PDFs. I pop them all together in one of these big A3 folders, and because I have Stash Hub, I don't tend to use these Kylie in the Machine fabric labels anymore, but they work a treat on the corner of these bags, so I can easily identify what's stored in. So this is for printed dresses. So how I store my patterns is in type rather than company or alphabetically. So I have printed dresses, I have PDF dresses, I have that's big for me because I wear a lot of dresses, so they're on their own. And then I've got things like tops, t-shirts, I've got sportswear, which tends to be, you know, like leggings, t-shirts, perhaps blouses as well in there. No, that's tops and tees. Sportswear has got swimwear, shorts, cords, jumpsuits tend to go together as well. So yeah, I've got them all stashed in there. But I was finding that the paper envelopes were getting very scabby. So what I've done is now moving forward, I'm using these, and I saw somebody else on YouTube using these, and she said, oh, they're from Amazon. So I got 50 of them. I can seal them if I want to, but they're just keeping it a bit clearer. Now this isn't been cut yet, but I am a cutter of patterns. I do not trace, I cut. So once it's been cut, it's going to take up a lot less space, and it's a lot bulkier than the big A4 envelopes. This pattern as well is a new one that I purchased. The minute I saw it, I purchased it, and it's the new, I'll pop a picture in here as well, it's the new Named Clothing Ilta dress, which is a shirtwaist dress, but it's got this beautiful ruching detail up the front button band here, and I just thought that would suit my shape because of that gentle draping it's going to create. So I'm keeping this one out and this one out because I want these to become high up on my list of to-dos when I have a moment and I'm not doing ambassador work. So what else have I got to show you? As I say, it's not much that I can show you that's come in. I'm waiting for a pattern and fabric delivery to arrive tomorrow from Andrea. That one will be really quick turnaround. It has to be back to her on Wednesday. So luckily I'm not back at work until next Thursday, so I've got time, which is why I was happy to do this one. That'll be, I've got a feeling it's going to be a pretty straightforward make. There's nothing like, there's no hidden surprises in it that might challenge me and slow down my process. So yeah, hopefully all good. That should just come together quite quickly. I was on my sewing Zoom social on Tuesday night. I attend Alison, So Like Dottie, So Virtual, and I just love it. It is such a hoot. It's a really, really cool bunch of ladies that gets together on there, and we chat everything and anything. And I didn't sew because I've had so much going on recently. I just wanted nice chill time chatting and just hearing what everybody else is getting up to. So I spent the time popping patterns and labeling them up into my plastic envelopes, and then today I finished checking that they'd all been entered onto my stash hub and into their A3 wallets, tidied away. So yeah, my space is now organised again. I've got a little pile of ironing there to do, and then I can bring out the cutting table in readiness for both of these two projects that I'm doing for Beyond the Pink Door. Other projects coming up in October, of course, now that I have revealed my September pattern challenge for the Busy Bee Sewing Challenge, October's will be coming up. And what I think I might do is hold off for that now. I will leave that for next week's vlog, and you can see what I have got in mind for that one. What I will do though today is share with you a little bit more up close and personal of my big project that happened in September, which was the Vents duffel coat. I was way back, probably June, July, I first laid eyes on this beauty, and I got in touch with the designer and said, "Oh, coat of my dreams, it's wonderful." She replied that it was a new pattern that she was working on and thanked me for the appreciation. When she came to ask for pattern testers, I applied and was chosen, and I was so delighted. And as she said, "It's the coat of your dreams, how could I refuse?" And that really touched me. So if I show you this here, so these are just the instructions that I've printed out. I'll hold it so it doesn't shine. And it's the Vents duffel coat. And as you can see here, it has 3 lengths. This is the cropped one, which is coming in at high hip. This is mid-thigh. And this one here, the one that I did, is the full length, the full length version. It's PDF download, but when you download it, you do get all 3 versions in the pattern files. But even better than that is that each option is in its own like file folder. So when you get it printed off, you choose which one you want to send to the printer, so you're not getting all 3 lengths with all the sizes on one sheet. Does that make sense? So it's like if you want to do like the cropped one, you will send that file away and you will get all the sizes, obviously, unless you do your layers option, but you're only going to get the pattern pieces for the cropped version. It makes it a lot less complicated and really nicely thought out. The instructions for this were absolutely fantastic. Let me give you a little close-up walkthrough. Said garment. So as I say, there's photographs going to be in here as well, but this is it. And I know black is not a good colour for bringing to camera, but it was the colour that I chose. So let me see if I can take it off the hanger for a bit and take you through the best bits. So first of all, what I'm going to do is try and give you a close-up of the fabric. There we go. Now hopefully you can see from that it is a really dark black watch tartan. This is 100% wool suiting from Croft Mill Fabrics. It's called Challenge, and if I can, I will pop a link. I'm sure they still have some left, so I will pop a link in the description box down below. What is special about this fabric is not just that it is this most beautiful handle, but it has got like a rubberized membrane bonded to the back, making it completely waterproof. When I saw this pattern, I did not want to go down the route of a standard thick heavy wool or felted wool or boucle to make the duffel coat. I wanted it to look lighter, but still be warm but waterproof as well. I don't like chunky wools, they make me itch, but this is so super smooth. I just knew this was the fabric that I wanted. Obviously with it being wool, it's going to be, you know, sponge clean, but it's a coat. It doesn't going to get worn, it's not going to get that dirty that much, and just knowing how it's handled itself the past week, I've been wearing it for work in the rain. Yes, it is definitely waterproof, and I think anything that gets onto it is just going to wash off, wipe off. It's got a beautiful, it's not like a, I'm not going to say shine, it's got a sheen in the fabric. It's just glorious. It is lightweight for a coat, so for this make what I had to do was fully interline it. Now it is a fully lined coat, so and everybody loves the lining on this, so there we go, appreciation for the lining fabric. Now I honestly can't remember where I got this from. I got it from somebody's destash and it was the right amount, so it got pulled out because it was the one that was just going to sit best with this coat. So as I said, having spoken to Pauline, her concern was that it was going to be a bit lightweight, and because of the rubberized backing of the fabric, I wouldn't be able to interface it. So she suggested that I interlined it. Now, interlining is something that many of you may not even know what I'm talking about, because when she said it to me, I didn't know what she was talking about. Plain and simple, interlining is exactly that. It is an interlining between your main fabric and your lining fabric. So for the purposes of this, how I worked that one out is I chose a fabric. In this case, it was a heavyweight calico. It was as simple as that. And I cut out my main outer fabric with the calico, basted just inside the seam allowance around every single piece, excepting things like the pocket tab and I can't find any of the loops, and the loops, because they didn't really need to have thickness and weight to them. But every other piece, all the main body pieces, the hood, the sleeves, all of that, then became this sandwich of the outer lining in wool and the calico interlining, tacked together with machine basting. That became one piece. That then allowed me to interface what was now the calico, which was now my, you know, like my wrong side of fabric had become calico. I could interface that where required. So for things like where the buttons were going to go on the welt pockets, things like that. It did take and create a little bit more time. However, once it had all been tacked together, you just then you know work each piece as just like the outer fabric. It's just one piece then. So it became really easy. It did get a bit weighty because I've gone, as you can see, for the full length option. So it is a weighty coat. I probably could, but I don't want to. I have to hang this on a hanger in the cupboard. I can't just like use the hood and hang it up because it's so weighty. I don't want it to, you know, to deform it, you know, spoil the fabric. It is a joy to wear. It is an oversized duffel coat, as you can see. Oh, I mean, I just don't know where to start because there's just so much goodness to tell you about it, but let me try. So it has, on the back here, there we go, so the light's reflecting, you can see that a lot better. It has a full storm flap, and the way it's cut, it goes over the shoulder in one piece. So when it then comes to the front, let me flick the hood back. When it comes over to the front, it's now on the bias. So I've got a cross-grain check, which is absolutely gorgeous. I think that just adds a beautiful effect. The hood is made in 3 sections. So it has the 2 outer sides, right and left, and then that center panel, which I think just gives a little bit more shaping. It just makes it look better. The front of it is like a separate facing interface, so when it's on, you've got a bit of structure in the hood, so it doesn't just like flop everywhere. There is a button. Actually, do you know what? 2 seconds. If I put it on for this bit, it makes it easier. So for the fastenings, it actually has a button and a fold over loop just for the hood, and then obviously then it has traditional toggles for the fastening, and it has a set of 4. So if I come in close, you can see these. Now I'm going to confess, these are nothing special. I got these on Amazon because time was running out. I was really struggling to find something that I like the look of. So I got these, and they've worked absolutely perfectly. I just unloop that one. And the way it's done, obviously they're put on prior to all of the top stitching, so your inside is beautifully clean finished. It has welt pocket on both of the front, full button tabs on the sleeves, button tab at the back to adjust, and pockets. Now I'm going to take it off so you can see this next bit, because the pockets are really something quite special. Now I'm going to come in close and shamelessly show you that. That's my own personal logo, Lulu and Rask and the tree. And that goes back to the days when I was at college. We had to create our brand. My brand was Lulu and Rask. So Lulu Rask, it starts to make sense now. And it was created from the combined names of my 2 dogs at the time. Luna, my black lab, who I call Lulu when she's being cheeky. And Rask is for Rascal, who was my long-suffering lurcher friend who I rescued as a young puppy at about 4 months old. And he stayed with me for 14 years until a couple of months ago we had to say goodbye. He has helped me through and been at my side through so many changes in my life. So I wanted him to be immortalised, and he is. The tree is special because it represents a little woods that myself, Luna, Rascal, and my now husband David used to walk through just when we first met 5-6 years ago, in a little place in Scotland where we both used to live, called Edsall. We moved close by to a place called Edsall Woods, and it was so symbolic. Unfortunately, the woods where we walked no longer exists because 3 months after we bought the house where we were going to move in together, we had the most awful storm that I can't even remember what year that was. Was that 21, 22, 21? 21 or 22. Yeah, the storms came, hit these little woods and literally flattened them overnight. So the woods didn't exist, but in my heart they always will, with my little Rascal on my label. So it went on to the pocket, which is a fitting pocket to put them on because it is big and roomy, but it also has side entry to it. If anybody out there is looking for a coat this winter, I can highly recommend the Vents. Pop yourself on. I will put the link down below on Pauline Alice's website to be able to get this. I'm not getting commission for it. This was absolutely just something I saw, I loved, I wanted, I made, and I am so happy, and I wish her every success with this pattern, but I don't think she's going to need my luck because it speaks for itself. So that's everything so far this week that I can share with you. I will be putting another video out in the coming days announcing my plan for the October Busy Bee Sewing Challenge and anything else that might have come along over the weekend. But till then, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to wish you well for the rest of this week. Hope you get lots of sewing done. Hope you're doing whatever it is you want to do and getting joy from it. So till next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Bye.